Hey everyone, welcome Starflag Media. Today is March 19th, 2024. We're going to be doing a little bit something different midweek. Normally, you will catch us here on the weekends for the Drunken Idiots podcast with myself and Chris. Make sure to check out his channel. I'm not sure if he's uploaded anything recently, but you can go ahead and check out some clips that he's put up there for Call of Duty. Talents 860. You can probably find his channel UWA Talents 1, I believe is the channel's name if you at it. On the search bar. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about WWE 2K24. I picked up the Steam version of the game, but this game is available for pretty much everything, I believe, except for the Nintendo Switch. So it's PS4, Xbox One, Series S and X, and the PS5. So if you've got any of those consoles or a PC, you can go ahead and pick up this game. It's pretty much the same across all the platforms, and I haven't really noticed any major differences or any major hiccups that I've read across the webs. So you can go ahead and feel free to take this review across the board for all the versions. So first, I just want to start off by saying that we talked briefly about this on the Drunken Idiots podcast. If you haven't seen that episode, go ahead and take a look at that as well. If you're looking for more short content, this is what you're gonna get here. So gonna talk a little bit about this game, starting off with, I haven't played a WWE game, or that's not true, I haven't owned a WWE game since around 2007 2008. So we're looking back on the Wii 360 PS3 days, right? And that was like the SmackDown versus Raw with ECW, I believe, was the last one I purchased. And that was a great game and all that, and I bought it mainly for the same reason that I'm buying this version, which is that that had a roster that I was interested in when they added the ECW guys, you know? And they were revitalizing that franchise, or I should say that promotion, through the video games at the very least. So this game here was brought to my attention. I mean, they've all throughout the years brought in a little bit of nostalgia here and there, but this one seems to really hit home that we're coming up on WrestleMania 40. So this added the showcase mode. So showcase towards WrestleMania, which basically allows you to play through 39 WrestleManias and scenarios within each one of those, right? So we're looking at the highlights. We're looking at gameplay, and you're fighting against legends, and you're taking over legends in their roles. So this really hits that nostalgia button, especially if you're a fan of the 80s and 90s era of the WWE, WWF at the time. This is really gonna hit home with enjoyable roster, and of course additions, smart improvements that already bolster everything that I've read previously, the formula. This is probably, from everything that I've gathered and that I've played in the last recent year, the strongest outing for a WWE game in quite some time. If you played 2K23, the controls haven't changed all that much. There are some little new mechanics here and there, such as, trading blows mini games that pop up every once in a while, kind of like quick time events, and it gives you that back and forth of the crowd with the cheers and the jeers, right? So one punch, for the good guy gets you the yay, and the bad guy gets you the boos. So, it doesn't come up often, but it is pretty cool. And there are new match types as well, including casket match, ambulance, special guest referee, stipulations that you may not or may want to play as. It's definitely not something that I would frown upon as something that, hey, you can add that to the check mark of, more types of matches that you're able to have. The game bolsters 200 superstars out of the box. That's neither here nor there. A lot of these are reskins of a lot of the superstars. So, like, if they have 80s Hogan, 90s Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, and then late 2000s Hogan, they'll say that's four characters. They might mix the attributes here and there, but I still count that as one character. I'd be just as happy to get a character with the same attribute, and 4 different skins and make them look like the part, and I'd be totally okay with that, instead of claiming that it's 200 superstars or whatever, the extra amount of memory it takes to change the attributes slightly and add a new character. Now, as far as the appearances go, it's a flip of the coin. Sometimes you'll get a character that is photorealistic, lifelike, and other times you'll get a character that doesn't look so hot. In my experience, when I played the showcase mode, and you get to fight the Andre versus Hogan match, spoiler alert, right, for WrestleMania 3, Hogan looks, he was already jacked in those days, but he's beyond belief big, and then Andre doesn't quite look like Andre, and it's not super easy to come up with some of these character models, I'm sure, especially because the newer superstars, of course, go in and get their faces scanned, things like that. However, I have seen some creative characters from the community that look insanely good, which brings me to the next point, which is the creator wrestler. It is fantastic. You can upload your pictures or pictures of your favorite stars and blend them into a template and pretty much get a carbon copy of whoever you're trying to make. I really enjoy the creator wrestler mode in this. It's beyond belief good. More than I've been used to in a lot of years of other games, and something that in the other review that I've got on the page for AEW's Fight Forever was severely lacking for their game. This game has everything that I wanted in that version. So if they would have had this kind of a creator wrestler mode in Fight Forever, they would have hooked me, and I would have never even looked this way for 2K24. But yeah, so briefly going back, showcase mode allows you to go through the iconic bouts, and it is a story-driven journey. Also, speaking of story-driven journeys, there is the My Rise mode that lets you play 2 story-driven journeys, right? And you can then choose forks in the road and make pivotal decisions, making moments where you can either go one way or the other. You can play as an indie legend, navigating the mainstream of the WWE, or you can build credibility of a low card, and act and try to get yourself up to the world title picture, things like that. It gives you those options. So the My Rise mode is kind of like, you take your character and you build your way up, and so that is really cool. And then another mode that they have in here is the My GM mode, which I played a lot of, and that's actually so far my personal favorite of this game. It gives you, you're the general manager of one of 4 brands, and you have to compete against the computer, or you can compete against friends if they are playing the My GM mode. And yeah, you have to choose between what card you have, who are you going to put to wrestle, are they going to be doing promos this week, what's your budget, what type of matches are they going to have. And yeah, it allows you to basically be the general manager of it's more like an RPG, and you can choose to watch the matches that you've booked, or you can just skip through it. I like it. It does add the card collecting element of the game, because you can collect cards and then unlock characters, or wrestlers, you should say, and even some fake local promotion wrestlers that you can add to your rosters. It is a good iteration of an already established formula. I really enjoyed the My GM mode. So what are we looking at here, right? So 2K24 is just adding to what seems to be, a tried and true formula. So a lot of people out there are pretty negative on, most of these kind of games, because they've probably been playing the same game for the last 5 or 6 years. So of course, if they've, been used to it, they're not getting anything super new, they might be upset. The game is $60 on the cheaper end, and it goes up to like $100 depending on which version you pick up. But if you are somebody like me who has not played a WWE game in going on close to a decade, this game is for you. It is easy enough to pick up and substantially different from, previous games. And it has a lot of elements that you are going to 100% love. if you like 90s wrestlers, they've got the Attitude Era in here. They've got the NWO. They've got WCW. They've got most everybody you want. And if you don't find your favorite wrestler, go into the community creations. Somebody has scanned a photo. Somebody has made a version of your favorite wrestler. It is there, and it is photorealistically good, scary good, sometimes better than the developer's version of that wrestler good. So, gonna wrap up here. WWE 2K24 takes advantage of the 40 anniversaries of WrestleMania to deliver a thrilling experience. The game builds on its predecessor's improvements, offering a refined formula that makes it the best in-ring experience since the series' reboot. While the control scheme remains largely unchanged from the previous games, the new mechanics like trading blows minigames and others add a fun twist to the combat. Other in-ring moments such as setting up big pile drivers or big dives and using special referees are always welcome additions and receive, welcome attention by fans. The game's massive roster of over 200 superstars is impressive, with some characters looking spot on while others not so much. And presentational touches like real-life referees and improved commentary enhance the experience. Showcase mode offers a great way to relive iconic matches, and My Rise mode features more engaging storytelling and meaningful choices. My GM and Universe modes also see improvements with expanded options and new features. The Creation Suite is as robust as ever, allowing for deep customization. While some elements may feel familiar, Visual Concepts has polished this formula, making WWE 2K24 the best package since the series' return in 2022. Now, whether you're new or whether you're a die-hard fan, this game is compelling reason to step back into a WWE ring, pick up a controller, and play as your favorite wrestling superstar. So if I have to give this game a score, my scores go from 1 to 10, 10 being perfection in my opinion, and then you have quarter points within. I would give WWE 2K24 an 8.5 out of 10. It is fantastic, and at times, depending on what mode you're playing, I'm going to say 8.75. So give it, as it will. So if you are looking at a game, it's not super perfect, but it's almost there. This is a really good wrestling game to pick up, and probably the fifth to sixth all-time best wrestling game that I've ever played. Behind, of course, the classics like No Mercy, Revenge, the Def Jam, Vendetta games, things like that. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Are you picking up WWE 2K24? What is your favorite wrestling game? Who's your favorite character to play as? Leave a comment, hit like, share, subscribe. We are on our way to 100 subscribers. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we do need those subs by the end of the year. So anything you guys can do will help a lot. As always, Anthony here with Star Flag Media, and thanks for joining us.